there. This is the book review for chapter number 9 of Jeannie Allen's Get Out of Your Head. And this chapter was titled Lifelines, I Choose to Be Known. And right off the bat, she talks about the fact if you're raising a child, you know that their basic need is to be seen and to be loved. And if we grow into adulthood and we still haven't resolved that need, it will show up in the way that we think as well as in our behaviors and our actions. And so this chapter was packed with so much. I just want to dig into some of the highlights and then can't wait to read your comments. Okay. One of the principles that she speaks about is that we were built by Christ to need community. We're wired for it. And so we're not intended to be an island unto ourselves. And one of the most basic requirements and needs is for us to reach out. So I want you to think through who's in your tribe, who's part of your community, as well as when you choose to isolate or you have a feeling or a desire to isolate away from that community, that tribe that you've built, what's the surfacing issue? What is that thing that's driving you away? Because it is not how you were built. In this chapter, she talked about two primary enemies. It's distraction and shame. Those are things that want to keep us in isolation, keep us in the chaos of our minds and not connecting to Christ. And when we are feeling disconnected, when we're feeling the hurt from past choices and decisions, that we live in shame, and that shame causes us to retract and to pull away from others that can provide us a source of support. And so we want to fight against those enemies of community. Oftentimes it surfaces in feelings of if people only knew. Right? If they knew that this is how I felt, or they knew this is what I did, those isolating feelings, only to find out that they have similar experiences themselves, and you could have formed a community of support for one another. And so being able to fight through shame, being able to fight through the vulnerability that comes along with establishing a true, authentic community is so important, so that we don't isolate, that we populate and we become connected. You walk through the spiral again, and in it talks about the fact that we have the choice to be known. And so we start with the emotion of shame. If we have the emotion of shame and we don't filter it through a community, we don't filter it through the desire and acknowledgement to be known, then we can spiral into isolation. But if we place within it that ability to be known, then we're able to move towards resolution and into behaviors that support our journey for healing. But there is a factor of being lonely, and loneliness can make us feel that connection is the threat. And so it's so important that we really fight against the desire to isolate and to become comfortable in our isolation. We also need community to help us make decisions, to help us test our wisdom for our choices that we're coming up against. I can't tell you how many times I called that source in my life to say, hey, what are you thinking about this? And to hear their thoughts, and then me later to share where I was thinking about going, and us to walk through it and why this was a good choice for me or why it's not. It's just good to have that person that you can bounce, or a community of people that you can bounce an idea off of, and to help you make wise choices and decisions. They also step into your life and help you with accountability. If you've set a goal for yourself, how can they walk alongside you and support you in you achieving that goal? And so I want you to think through, who are those individuals in your life that provide that sound wisdom that you can share your ideas with, that you're known to, and that you can help walk along with you in your life's journey. One thing that's so important is to recognize, if you're going to do life with others, if you're going to be part of a community, you are going to be vulnerable. It is not going to be effective. It's not going to be authentic if you don't put your heart out there, understanding that your heart could be broken. And you could be disappointed, and you could be let down by the choices and behaviors and the actions of someone that you're in community with. But that's the price you have to pay in order to fall into true, authentic community. And I've got to say, I've gone through some of the ultimate betrayals. I've had my heart broken by my girlfriends who I thought were going to be my ride or die. I've had my heart crushed by men who I thought were going to be my happily ever after. But that is the price we pay. And we'd rather be able to walk along those journeys rather than to be in isolation and not have community. And so vulnerability is a space that it does take courage in order to have true, authentic relationship. And as I'm on the journey and I have built that with my core tribe, I'm finding that I gain confidence in being more authentically myself. I don't have to make up scenarios in my head about who I think people need me to be or desire me to be. I can truly be myself, fully accepted and fully known. Another section that she entitled, Be All of You Fast. I really like that because it's bring the authentic you to the table, because that's what people are going to connect with. And none of us want to star in a role for the rest of our lives and play this character that we, have made up that we think people want. There's a wonderful quote that says, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. And so we're thriving and striving, trying to be this person, and that's not who we are. And so when people start showing up for that other person, you keep having to go into makeup and costume and build that person up, and you start to fall away and lose yourself. And so be authentically you as quickly as you can, as fast as you can, and as often as you can. Don't send out your ambassador and hope to gain relationships and connections, because that's who people will be in relationship with. And the core part of you is going to be in isolation and lonely. And so be you as fast as you can be. She ended the chapter so wonderful saying, listen, you know everything there is to know about me, but there's about 2% of me that I have kept sheltered and I need to release it. And so when it comes to being authentically known, what's that 2%? What's that part of you that you've kept well hidden that you need to be freed and to be released? Pray and know that you have that person that's in your life that you can connect to, and it's likely they have 2 or 3% remaining that they need to share with you. And so this chapter, Lifelines, I Choose to Be Known, was so transitional and transforming, because it really speaks to just being authentically who you're called to be and connecting to people who love that person. I look forward to connecting with you as we move into chapter 10 of Jeannie Allen's Get Out of Your Head. Now be sure to watch the video, and you'll find all the resources on www.rosesandthorns.org. I'm placing it up here in the corner. And once you're there, you're going to choose the Roses and Thorns from the menu. And in that drop-down menu, you'll find the book club. Once you're there, you'll see all of the resources. So pick up the printable, watch the video. I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this chapter. Until next time.